What's going on, everybody? It's Mitsuni Nikki here once again. I'm back bringing you guys another video. So today I kind of wanted to just try out some different kind of content, and one of the things that I wanted to try was talking about some of my favorite games that I've played in recent years so far. So as you guys can see in the background, the video game I'm playing right now is called Ender Lilies Quietest of the Nights, and I gotta say, this game is absolutely amazing and it's freaking beautiful and gorgeous, man. So with this game right here, you're pretty much a priestess named Lily, who is, well, on her way to like fix this kingdom that is covered in this thing called a blight, which is like an endless rain that sits here, and it covers the entire land and kingdom and turns all of the people and inhabitants living there into like these nightmarish creatures that you can see that I'm fighting here. And on her way to do this, she is accompanied by one of her fellow dead soldiers in the form of like spirits that help her out as you go and travel this kingdom. So what I want to say about this game, first of all, is that as you can see, the background, the detail to it, the art style and graphics are absolutely phenomenal. You can see that this right here is freaking hand-drawn stuff, and it is beautiful. This is honestly some of the best hand-drawn background CG art that I've seen in a game since, I guess, maybe like probably Hollow Knight, or hell, forget Hollow Knight, maybe even like dang, I'm trying to remember what that other game was. There's Hollow Knight, and then yes, that's what it freaking was. Also, it's sequel as well, which has also taken the artwork to an absolutely phenomenal level. Like, honestly, I don't even know how much time goes into drawing backgrounds and stuff like this. I know, like, when it comes to like drawing and stuff, you got to make drawings over like 300 or so times for like each frame of animation. So just imagine how painstakingly long it took for them to do things like this. It's insane to me. Now, I'm not sure what the developer team is for Ender Lilies. I can't remember what they were called or anything. But like, this game is $15 on Steam. It's made by an indie studio. Like, this game is insane though. Like, there's a tons of like enemies and bosses in here. Each freaking new zone is like highly detailed and completely different from the last. The boss fights in this game are just breathtaking, man. Like, they have multiple phases. Like, there's usually like 2 or 3 phases. Sometimes there was even a boss with 4 phases in it entirely, and it was insane to me. Like, the bosses in this game are actually pretty challenging and hard too. Like, I don't even know what to say about this game. It is just absolutely phenomenal. I freaking love the little minimalistic story that it has too. It's like, I don't want to say it's like Dark Souls or anything, but it kind of takes an approach like that, where like the story isn't told in a way where it's like straightforward, or like it's told entirely to your face. Like, the story, the lore and stuff for it is like scattered around by like these notes and everything that you pick up and find to learn more and more about the backstory. And even the bosses have like some backstory and stuff to them. Like, you find these notes about like the bosses who, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, let's just say that some of the bosses in this game were pretty close to the character that you play as. That's all I'm gonna really say. But yeah, you can find notes about like bosses and enemies, or like by fallen soldiers, that to learn more about like what happened in this game, like before the blight hit it, or even when the blight hit it, and how the world reacted to it in the game. It's insane to me. And honestly, I gotta say, this game right here, it's something special. Like, this is easily my most favorite game of 2022 right now. I would say like it's behind Grim Dawn, which is another game that I also played in the background of my videos that people have asked about. Now, if you don't know what Grim Dawn is, here, I'm gonna put up some gameplay for you right now of what Grim Dawn is. This game is, well, to simply put it, it's pretty much like Diablo 3, except that I think this is one of the best ARPG dungeon crawlers I've played since like Diablo 2 and like Torchlight. Like, this is much better than like Diablo 3 or even like Titan Quest, and Titan Quest is absolutely phenomenal as well. Like, this game has a tons of enemies and bosses and skills. Not only that, but the world and the story is intriguing. It's insane to me. But yeah, I gotta say, these two games right here, I've been playing in my backgrounds a lot, and I absolutely love them. And talking about how much I love these two games brings me around to the point of this video that I have here today for you guys. So like, some of my favorite games of all times have been like RPGs or like freaking like dungeon crawling like games and stuff, like hack and slash games. Like I grew up playing games like Mario, Legend of Zelda, Metroid Prime. I grew up playing like the GTA series and everything, and like God of War and Devil May Cry. I grew up playing those games in my youth. So if you guys don't even know, I'm 21 years old, and yeah, like I grew up like with playing on my like Game Boy and everything, and it was some fun times really. I used to play this one Mario game, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like Super Mario something for like the freaking GBA or Game Boy Advance. And it didn't even have any color on the darn game, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that the Game Boy like color or something? That was the one where the Game Boy black and white. I can't even remember really. But like I grew up playing Mario so darn much, man. Like I still absolutely love Mario to this day. I don't play it as much as I do nowadays. Nowadays I mostly just play like RPGs and hack and slashes. But yeah, even then I grew up playing so much like Mario, especially Super Mario 64 on the N64 console, which to my day is still one of my favorite games ever, and the N64 is still my second favorite console ever, right behind the PlayStation 2. And that's a whole nother subject I'm gonna get into in a little bit. But yeah, I grew up like playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I remember when I was playing Ocarina of Time when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I could not even make it to the first boss, because every time I got to like the first boss room against what was the first boss even called in Ocarina of Time? It's been so long since I played that game. It's been like 2 years since I beat it again. I can't remember what the first boss was, but yeah, when I was like a kid, like I would always make it to that boss room, and then like I could not figure out what to do to even start the boss. So I didn't even know I was in the boss room at the time, like because the whole room is dark, and what you're supposed to do when you reach the first boss is like look up to start the boss fight. For me as a little kid, I didn't know something like that. I just stepped into this like big old dark room, was looking around, and I was constantly trapped there. I would get frustrated trying to figure out what I was supposed to even do in the darn game. Once I reached that room, that I just stopped playing it for a while. It's only after a few years, when I was like 17 or so, where I played the game again on an emulator on my phone, and like after watching some videos on YouTube, I finally figured out what I was supposed to do. And at that time afterwards, I just went on to beat the entire game after I made it past the first boss. So like I just stayed up like every night I came home from like high school, and would just sit there and play Ocarina of Time all the time on my phone. And honestly, man, it's still one of my favorite games ever. It's so good. It is just insane to me how well made that game was. The story and just characters enthralled me. The world, the gameplay, all of it. Like exploring and trying to stop Ganon, it was just insane. Like Ocarina of Time to this day is just so masterful to me. It's insane. Like I grew up playing the game so much, and I just love it. The same thing with like Super Mario 64 and like Metroid Prime and stuff. I grew up playing so many games when I was much younger, and I still do play a lot of games. I play more games nowadays than I did when I was younger. But like, man, I took so much time playing with those darn games. And then there was also games like GTA or God of War 2, which is still my favorite hack and slash game to this day. God of War 2 is absolutely phenomenal. PlayStation 2 is my favorite console ever. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to take this time out to talk about some of my favorite games that I grew up playing with, and some of my favorite games of right now and all, and everything of this year. So anyway, this is not going to be a really long video or anything, just a short one, talk about my love for video games and the games that I kind of like grew up playing with and stuff. So let me know what you guys' favorite games that you grew up playing with is in the comment sections down below. Anyway, with that being said, it's Mitsune Nika. I'm out.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down.